Hello, this is Chris Coffey, Instructional Technology Coach for Bamberg School District 1. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to use certain tools, specifically spelling, dictionary, and explore. These are things that you will use all the time, your students will use all the time, so let's go ahead and get into it. As you see, I've got a student writing prompt up, and I've added some gibberish things in here so we can look at the spell check. And there are a couple ways you can go about doing this. If you only have one or two words that are misspelled, you can always right-click, or with the Chromebooks, two fingers, and it'll try to guess what you were writing. You can always correct to, which means if you spelled that word wrong the same way multiple times, it'll change it everywhere that you spelled it wrong. You can add it to the dictionary, so if it's a non-standard English word, you could do that. Or if it's something that you're only going to type once, but you want it to show up, maybe a hashtag or some kind of slang, you could just ignore that one incident of that word. If you have a lot of misspellings, you're going to want to do a full spell check. So you go to Tools, Spelling, and Spell Check. And just like before, it's going to try to guess what you wanted to write. You can come up here and type what you actually meant and click change, and it'll change it for you. Like I said, you can ignore or you can add to dictionary. Now, this is a nonsense word, so I really shouldn't have added that to the dictionary. In order to take away that word, I'll go up here to Tools, click on Spelling, and go to Personal Dictionary. And it'll give me a chance to add other words that I want to recognize as correct spelling. And it'll also give me the chance, all I have to do is click the X by the word, and it will delete that word from the dictionary. Just make sure you click Save if you make any changes in here, or else it won't stay. Now, for some of the other features in here, you've got the zigzag line for misspelling. Day to day, this is something that's useful for both teachers and students, but you might want your students to take the time and make sure they're spelling things correctly on their own. So you may want to come up here, or have your students go to Tools, go to Spelling, and uncheck that underline errors. And notice now it's still misspelled, but it is not underlined. And if I want to bring it back, I can come to Spelling and click Underline Errors. And this one is showing up correctly spelled because I told it to ignore. If I come back and change it again, it'll show up as misspelled. So it only ignores it the first time you've typed it. So that's the basics of spell check. It's something that you can use every day. If you're familiar with Microsoft Word, Google Docs does not have the same benefits of grammar check. It has some of the features, so like auto capitalization. If I type, the word "the" behind a period, it'll automatically capitalize it. But if I double up the word, it's not going to show up as an error. If I add a period after it, it won't capitalize it and it won't show up as an error. It's not recognizing my little double commas here and a few other errors throughout it. So these are things to consider. For the teachers, this is more frustrating because you're wanting to get a document out as quickly as possible, and you don't want a lot of grammar errors, but just, again, take the time and double check your work and proofread your own work, and that's beneficial. But for the students, that's exactly how we want them to write. We want them to be focused on the structure of sentences and paragraphs. We want them to get in the habit of proofreading their own work. So the fact that grammar isn't always highlighted is a benefit. Now, if they go off and use a program like Microsoft Word or something a little bit more feature intense than Google Docs, they'll have that option. But they also need to learn how to write on their own. So it may be frustrating at first, but look at it as an opportunity for students to learn the skill of writing. Okay, some of the other tools that we have in here, just very quickly. There's a dictionary tool, so if you want kids to review vocabulary or look up a word, they can highlight the word, go to Tools, and go to Dictionary, and a dictionary option will pop up. Just an entry here will pop up. You can also come up here and type a word and it will pop up. It's not a huge dictionary, but it does the job in most cases. The last thing I find very cool is Explore. Now, what the Explore tool does is it actually looks for words that are repeated or that it thinks are key to your writing, and it gives you an option to search other venues for those same keywords. So if you go to Tools and go to Explore, you're going to notice it brings up some topics that it has found inside of your writing. And I'm going to click on Dragon just to show you. And it pulls up a Wikipedia response and other web pages that are related to Dragon. Obviously, SpaceX isn't going to be something that is useful, but Britannica might be. So I'm going to click on that. So here I have the Encyclopedia Britannica entry for Dragon. So the student could go through and read more about dragons. So that's kind of a useful tool. But beyond that, let's say I found some information out that might be useful in my writing and I used it. Well, we want students to get used to citing it. All they would need to do to add a footnote is come up here where this little quotation mark is and click on it. Notice right there, it's split it where the word is, so I don't want that. I'm going to come up here and I want to put it next to the word dragon. And now I have a footnote. And even though footnotes are more common in APA than MLA, you can use footnotes in MLA. And more importantly than even the formatting is teaching students that they need to cite their sources. So this is a way that they can do that. Plus, if a student is doing an ongoing, say, research project or something, it makes it very easy for them to come down here and see where they got the information in case they need to go back. So that's a beneficial thing. Now, beyond that, they also have two other options inside of Explore. They can look for images, which is nice. And this one I really like, especially as you're working on a class like unit or a chapter where there are multiple assignments. Drive will go in and look for that word dragon. So here I've got like a translated version, which we'll cover in another video. And I also have the school website or the technology website, because we're the Raiders and our mascot's dragon. So it shows other documents that has my topic. So if I've done 4 or 5 assignments on the same topic, it will show up here and I can look those up for further reference. So Explore is really kind of a fun thing that can be used on a regular basis for research and those kind of things. I hope this video has been informative. I'm sorry it ran a little bit long, but I hope you enjoyed it and you found some useful information in it. If you have any questions, visit the website in the description below, and thanks for watching.